Happy Star Wars Day. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Joe Emilio Show. I'm your host, Joe Emilio, and I'm just going to put this, I guess some of you, I know it's dark. I had to make it a little bit dark today because obviously I wanted to do that nice little trick at the beginning. I'm not like... obviously it's Star Wars Day, ladies and gentlemen, so of course I'm going to take this baby out for a little bit. I don't know how this looks. How does this look? Does it look cool? I mean, I'm never gonna miss an opportunity to take out the lightsaber, if you know what I mean. Look at that. Anyway. Ooh, look at that. It's dark again. Do not adjust your screen. There we go. Just switching it off very quickly, and then I'll get properly set up, ladies and gentlemen. Put this baby back here like that. There we go. And now you guys get to see the routine that I usually do before I go live, but obviously wanted to make it special today because of Star Wars Day. I am a Jedi. All right. Anyway, I don't know how many of you got to see that right at the beginning. I hope you did. But yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We got a lot to talk about today. I am going to be joined by Mork Rock later on and his fellow co-star, Darth Shaun. That's how I know him. I know him as Darth Shaun. And we're going to be talking about the failures of Star Wars, which I think is going to be an interesting topic to say the least. I've got some things to talk about. If you want to know what's happening in this episode, because the intro is a little bit different. Usually at the beginning of the show, I tell you guys what to expect, and I'm going to tell you what to expect right now. So I'm keeping an eye out because I know everybody is worried, or not worried, but I don't know what the right word is, just wondering rather, what's going on with the COVID regulations, the provisional COVID regulations. They're supposed to lapse at midnight tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to look at that. We're also going to look at a funny tweet that was tweeted earlier. And Dave Chappelle is back in the news, and boy, is it something that's going to piss off a lot of people. Of course, what else are we going to talk about? Oh, Cape Forum has launched, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And then Mork Rock will be joining me on the show, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about Star Wars and the failures of Star Wars. I'm very much looking forward to that conversation, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. Oh, and obviously, just a reminder. Here we go. Dylan Combrink has joined. Well, welcome, Dylan. Good to see you again. I'm not streaming anymore, ladies and gentlemen, on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I just figured, keep it to YouTube, really. So yeah, this is me just on YouTube now. I kind of like YouTube. I noticed that people weren't really commenting on all the other platforms. I don't know why, and I didn't really find anything beneficial from it. I tried it for 2 months, nothing really. So I figured, hey, let's just stick to YouTube, right? Let's just have fun with you guys on YouTube. Anybody that wants to join can join. Obviously, they know that the show happens on YouTube. So yeah, we will keep it with YouTube. All right, so where should I start first? I mean, I had an exciting day today. I'm not gonna lie, where I was at the launch of Cape Forum, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm going to be releasing a video on this, a little bit like I don't know if it's like a vloggy video or what you want to call it, but just a video on my experience at the launch and some interesting facts about Cape Forum. For those of you who think that Afriforum and Cape Forum are one and the same, you'd be highly mistaken. I learned today that Cape Forum actually has nothing to do with Afriforum. They do work together as as friends, if you want to put it that way. But Cape Forum is its own organization and is actually not affiliated to Afriforum, which is something very interesting I learned today. But more on that later, because in the video, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see beautiful landscape images of Table Mountain. No, it was beautiful scenery at I forgot the name of the place we were at. But it was a beautiful restaurant, great food. Actually, wait, I do know the name of the place. I'll tell you now. Hold on, give me a second. I'm just adjusting my screens because I had to make them not bright. All right, so where is it? Here. Is this it? Yeah. Okay, so let me show you where this place is. Beautiful view of Table Mountain. It is Bokap Kombuis. Kombuis. The Afrikaans people can help me with the pronunciation of that. There we go. Almost there. There we go. Bokap Kombuis. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Beautiful food, beautiful restaurant. Highly recommend you guys go check it out. I love the view. That view that I just showed you right now is from that restaurant. A spectacular view of Cape Town. But I met today Mr. Peter Murray, ladies and gentlemen, from Freedom Front Plus. He was there, and we had an interesting conversation. Go in the link in the description. You will see a link to a small clip that he basically spoke about Cape independence, and I highly recommend you guys go watch it. So it's a short clip, like less than 3 minutes. Link is in the description. You can go check it out. Kid Fury in the house, ladies and gentlemen, saying, "Evening, Joe. Hope you're well." I am well, thank you so much. I hope you're well too, Kid Fury. And then I also met this lady. Anybody know who she is? I'd be surprised if you don't. That is Helen Zilla, ladies and gentlemen. She's been on my show before. It was a pleasure meeting her in person, finally. So that was cool. And I interviewed basically Helen Zilla, Peter Murray. I also interviewed Heinrich Weingard, I think his name is. And yeah, I'm going to release a short video on the Cape Forum launch. Look out for it. It's going to be on the channel probably next week sometime. And that reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. I've got some work to catch up on, so you won't see me again until next week, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I gotta do some work. I have to. I need tomorrow and Friday to do a bit of work. So I'm gonna be unavailable until next week, Monday, I believe, which I'll be on the show with Herman Ruas. We're gonna be talking about farming in South Africa and how the Ukraine and Russia conflict, as well as other aspects that are happening now in South Africa, other things that are happening now in South Africa, has affected the agriculture community in South Africa, as well as the lockdowns. What's been the aftermath of the lockdowns? I've had Herman on my show before, but figured I'd have him back again and have an update on what's been going on. Great guy. And Cameron saying, "Hey Joe, may the force be with you, and may the Sith rise tomorrow." No, the Sith must not rise. Yeah, I know. Tomorrow is what? May the Sith. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. May the force be with you too. Most of you have missed my intro, man. I got through. I did this cool intro for this show, and I realized that most people don't really tune in right at the beginning. But it's right in the beginning, guys. If you want to go check it out, you can. I pulled out the lightsaber and had a cool intro. But anyway, not that important. Cool. So I think what's on everybody's mind now that I got Cape Form out of the way. Oh, and I will have Hendrik on my show. In the future as well. I'm gonna have Barry Bateman on my show soon. I'm gonna have Amber Boyson on my show soon, and probably Peter Murray. There's some great guests coming up this year, ladies and gentlemen. I just got to get the dates sorted. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think the big question on everybody's mind is: I've been asked, I've gotten messages, I've gotten comments. What is the deal with Sabelo and the extension to comment on the Health Act, and what is going on with the provisional regulations at the moment? I got some good news and I got some bad news. I'm going to share with you now. Good news, or well, I guess it's bad news, really. COVID-19 rules from South Africa's mask mandate won't be allowed to lapse tonight. The Department of Health says. But here's the thing. So nobody, like, I'm not gonna go through this whole thing, but nobody really knows what's going on because, like, everyone's expecting last moment kind of some announcement from the Department of Health, right? At the same time, they're saying things that are a little bit concerning, like this Crisp guy who I don't like, says Windsor should keep in place South Africa's mask mandate and other remaining COVID-19 rules. Gosh, I hope not. And all the remaining restrictions originally imposed via national state of disaster are due to expire at midnight. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is the only article I've seen so far that kind of touches on what is going on, but nobody knows exactly what is going on. I have been trying to keep an eye. I mean, this was from AfriForum, Jocks Broodryk. Sorry, probably butchering that surname. This is what he had to say. I hope you guys can hear it.
It's late night announcements.
There we go.
AfriForum would like to remind the public that the 30-day extension of the COVID-19 regulations will expire at midnight tonight. This entails that unless the government makes another one of its late-night announcements, no one will be required to wear masks or comply with any other COVID-19 regulations from tomorrow, as no such regulations would exist and be enacted. Government initially extended the regulations for 30 days after the national state of disaster came to an end in order to implement permanent regulations in this regard. Those 30 days will come to an end tonight. Should the government go ahead with their plans to permanently enshrine these regulations in law, AfriForum, together with the public participation platform DASA, will launch court action against government's proposed regulations. AfriForum's court documents have already been finalized for legal action, and our legal team are standing by to fight these amendments immediately, should they come into force.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. AfriForum already stating, before the ANC has made any announcement of what's going to happen next, already stating that they are ready, they are prepared, they've got their lawyers ready, they've got the paperwork ready to basically take legal action against the government. So AfriForum's waiting to see what happens. DRSA is with them, waiting to see what happens. I'm sure a lot of other people are interested to know. I've been keeping an eye, and I'll show you guys. I have been keeping an eye on like the main presidency Twitter page to see if there's any announcement of anything. Nothing. This was posted 2 hours ago. That was the most recent post from the presidency page. So nothing mentioned here. And then ENCA I've also been trying to keep an eye on, because they're usually very good with, up-to-date stuff. And it's obviously that stuff, looking at that. But there was one thing, which is this, which was released 58 minutes ago. Government is yet to gazette the new COVID-19 restrictions, despite the current draft regulation lapsing at midnight. The Health Department says it will announce the way forward in due course. Dr. Aslam Dasu discusses this further with ENCA, that guy. I don't know if you guys want me to play this. I watched it earlier. It wasn't that informative. He was basically saying, like, we're in limbo. We don't know what to do. He also mentioned that the regulations are stupid. But then he also played like, oh, no, but we need to know. We need regulations and we need the... It's like, also, he was like trying to say all South Africans are concerned because they don't know what to do. It's... Let me just play it, because I think everybody will get a better idea of what I'm trying to say.
Well, government is yet to gazette new COVID-19 restrictions, despite the current draft regulations lapsing at midnight. The Health Department says it will announce the way forward in due course. Meanwhile, the DA is calling for clarity as soon as possible as numbers continue to rise. Medical expert and convener at the Progressive Health Forum, Dr. Aslam Dasu, joins us now live to...
I just want to say that it is going into winter, ladies and gentlemen, and that there is flu season happening again.
Pack this situation. Dr. Dasu, appreciate your time as always. So the Health Department is trying to reassure the public that there is nothing to worry about. It's all under control. Yet we don't have a way forward when it comes to the regulations.
Good evening, Shaun, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, I think you're correct. We don't really know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, I think the government has fashioned a rod for its own back with these regulations, which are just zombie pieces of legislation arising from the Disaster Management Act, transplanted and put under the National Health Act, wholly inconsistent with what we know of the pandemic, with what we know of how to deal with it, and with what we know about what works and what doesn't work. So it's a remarkable situation that we are now at 1 minute to midnight, in a manner of speaking, on finding out whether the government put those regulations in or published those drafts just as a stopgap while it considered more rational, consistent regulations, which will all surprise us with tomorrow, pleasantly so, and give us regulations that are consistent with how we can manage the pandemic going into the future. I'm not very optimistic that that's the case, but that's going by past experience. And one always has to have some hope that there's going to be some rational behavior by the government, given that the facts are known. This is all scientific. And so we sit here and wait in a state of unease.
So he says he wants the government, or he hopes the government's going to be rational. When was the government rational? Just like I want to talk about that for a second. When was the government rational? Was it when they first, called the lockdown, and then said it was going to be for 3 weeks, then they extended it for 2 weeks, then they extended it for another 2 weeks, and then they extended it indefinitely for 2 years, causing immense unemployment, shrinking the middle class, and also destroying countless businesses, not to mention the July riots. Was that the government being rational? Was the government being rational when people could go to a party and have 2,000 people at this party, but you weren't allowed to be over 50 people at a funeral and say goodbye to your loved ones properly? Is that rational? I don't know. ANC has never been rational. It's never going to be rational. Anybody who thinks that there's or has any hope for that is fooling themselves. South Africans are not... I don't think any South African is really sitting at home tonight and thinking to themselves, like, oh my God, I need to know what's going to happen. My life's going to come to an end. I don't think any South African is thinking that. I think what most South Africans are thinking is, please end the regulations. That's what most South Africans are thinking. Like, please, just drop it all. There's no point to it. It doesn't make sense anymore. We're moving on. That's it. That's basically what is on every South African's mind. To be honest with you, the majority of South Africans don't even give a damn anymore. I mean, I'm not going to say when and where and who with who, but there have been a few times I've gone to shops or just in my neighborhood, and nobody gives a damn about the mask anymore. Like, nobody cares, guys. Nobody cares. I went to an event recently, and nobody was wearing a mask, and there were cops. Like, nobody cares. And that's the concern of South Africans, is when is this ridiculous charade going to end? And the ANC is not rational. If you think the ANC is rational, boy, do you need like a severe wake-up call. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep an eye. That's the end of my rant. I'm going to keep an eye on the news throughout the stream and see if anything gets announced. So far, nothing. I keep on refreshing every now and again to see if the president's supposed to be talking or some kind of announcement's going to happen. We're getting closer to midnight, ladies and gentlemen, which means that all the regulations are going to be done, over, unless they do what they always do and they just put it through under the guise of night, which also could be a possibility. But like AfriForum and DRSA said, they are waiting to see what happens, because if things are implemented, if they implement the Health Act or the amendments to the Health Act, they are ready to legally fight this. And if you can bet your bottom dollar, ladies and gentlemen, I'll have Rob Hutchinson on the show again to talk about it. So keep your eyes out. Let me just get to some of the comments that are coming in here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, by the way. It's great to have you listening in. Let's see here. Troubled Cat, ladies and gentlemen, is in the house. I interviewed Troubled Cat recently. I still need to put our conversation out on YouTube. I haven't had a chance to edit it, unfortunately, but I will. So look out for that. There's a lot I still need to upload on its own. So bear with me, guys. Like I said, last week was crazy, and I got a lot of work to catch up on. Again, that's why I'm not streaming tomorrow evening, to catch up on some of the stuff that I need to do. But Trouble Cat saying it's limbo at the moment. Supposedly the transition phase jumbo is getting extended, though we'll have to see. I hope not. I hope you're joking. My 5 pence, still an interesting name. Oh, Shaun. A year ago, they did not comply to dates, and everything just went on. Yeah, that's also true. Let's see. Jason, dude, how are you doing? Good to see you again. I have open mic nights, man. You should probably pop in through. There's an open mic night this Friday. Star Wars Legends is a lot better than the Disney canon universe. Cool. I will bring that up with my guest tonight. And then Cameron, we hope that. And then I don't know what this was in reference to. Sorry, but yeah, I will keep an eye on what is going on. But there's something else interesting, ladies and gentlemen. News broke like an hour or two ago, maybe 3 hours ago. Like, I'm just going to show you the headline. Comedian Dave Chappelle attacked during LA live show. Can you believe this? Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? This Dave. This is just unbelievable. Like, it's becoming dangerous to be a comedian at the moment. Like, I saw this headline and I seriously considered maybe I should just stop as a comedian, right? Because this is just ridiculous, guys. This is, And this is Wednesday, 4th of May, ladies and gentlemen. This was today. This wasn't an old headline or anything like that. I will show you footage of what happened, and Chris Rock was also there. He made a bit of a joke. So let's perhaps look at some of the footage, which is right here, and then we'll talk about this. We'll talk about what happened. But just to give you a bit of context, like Dave Chappelle was performing, obviously, at a show. And this is the same footage that keeps on circulating. So I know it's a bit all over the place, but let's just have a look and I'll try and explain and make sense of it.
Was that Will Smith?
So that's really all we see, and I'll draw your attention. You can see just on the stage now some people running. Dave Chappelle got tackled, basically. This guy like speared him, WWE style. And then he was chased. I think that's Chris Rock trying to chase him back, or Dave. I can't tell. And then there's where Dave and Chris like shake hands, and then Chris says, "Was that Will Smith?" Obviously, as a little jab there. But guys, this is why what Will Smith did was so idiotic and disrespectful, and just, as a fellow comedian and performer, this really pisses me off, because this was the only thing I had a problem with what Will Smith did. I don't care if he liked the joke or not. I don't care that he was upset. I don't care that your feelings got hurt by a joke. What is upsetting is that now that some big celebrity superstar goes and slaps a comedian across the face because of a joke he didn't like or his wife didn't like, now, whether or not it was real or not, I'm not debating that. I'm not going to get into that conversation. That's besides the point, all right? The fact that was aired on a global televised event, okay? Now you have random people at different shows thinking it's okay for me to go and slap a comedian that I don't agree with. And I'm here to tell you, no, it's not under any circumstance. And I hope Dave Chappelle will press charges. This is news that is just breaking, so I don't know what he's going to do. Apparently, the guy that attacked him did get hurt. Not sure how, but he was taken away in an ambulance. Apparently his arm broke. Those are some of the reports that are coming in. But he, it's just not okay. It's not okay to go onto a stage and attack a performer. What is wrong with people? When did it become a dangerous profession to be a comedian? I mean, already comedians, in case you don't know, people out there, we do second guess our jokes. We do try and speak to other comedians and say, hey, do you think this is funny? Am I punching up? Am I punching down? We try to make sure that we're not going to offend people. And now there are controversial comedians, like now Dave Chappelle apparently is a controversial comedian. I don't think he's a controversial comedian. There are other comedians that are far more controversial than he is. But apparently now, right, if you don't like what a comedian says, you can just go up and attack him. No, you can't. You can't do that. Stop doing that. If you don't like what a comedian says, here's an idea. Don't buy a ticket to a show. You ever think of that? And if you're at the show and he says something you don't like, well, you can excuse yourself. Stand up and walk out. It's as simple as that. That's all you have to do. And if you're on social media and you see a comedian and their joke pops up and you don't like that joke, you don't have to hunt the person down and try and cancel them. No, you just block them. That's it. Because let me tell you something. That arena, I don't know where it was, but it looked like there was hundreds, if not thousands, of people watching. They were enjoying it. You're that one guy that didn't. Maybe there was another person that didn't enjoy the joke. But they didn't get up and attack. You did. And it is barbaric, it is stupid, and disrespectful. And I know some people are going to be like, yo, but what Dave did was disrespectful to my community or to my feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings, and jokes are subjective. All right? I don't know why I said facts don't care about your feelings. I'm not talking about facts. I'm talking about jokes. Jokes, okay, are jokes. Some people are going to laugh at them. Some people are not going to laugh at them. That's humor. Humor is subjective. There'll be some things I say that people don't like. I've met people who flat out told me that they don't like my comedy, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Luckily, there's far more people that do enjoy my comedy, so I'm okay with it. There's a big enough market for every comedian to exist peacefully. But I guess when you're on the level of Dave Chappelle, people just want to see you fail, and they want to, I don't know. Maybe that guy thought this was his moment of fame. I'm going to fight for my people, my community, and I'm going to go up on stage and attack Dave Chappelle. Well, the world's laughing at you, my friend, because you're the one that ended up in an ambulance at the end of that escapade that you tried. And it really is sad to see. It really is sad to know that we live in a world like this, that you can just go and do that. DK saying it seems to be the norm now with these performers always looking for attention. I saw comments of people saying that maybe that attack was staged. I mean, possibly, but I don't think... Dave doesn't like Hollywood, guys. Like, Dave doesn't like... He took a break from Hollywood. He lived in South Africa for a while. He really, even in the show that I watched him when he came to Cape Town live, and he explained his disdain for Hollywood. Like, he really doesn't like Hollywood anymore, guys. So I don't think there's... Maybe he wasn't coerced by elite people, but maybe it was his idea, I don't know, to, hey, let's have someone run up on stage and try and attack me. It's like, why? I don't know. It just, to try and, I don't know. There's all these elaborate conspiracy theories, like, oh yeah, no, the reason why it was done is so, like, Chris Rock could kind of, like, say that one-liner, and then he becomes, like, and then everyone's talking about Chris Rock, and then he kind of saves face, and he's with Dave Chappelle, and they say face, and everybody's talking about Dave Chappelle, and they become popular. I don't think it goes that far. I really don't. So anybody who thinks that Dave Chappelle thing was staged, I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. Because, one, there's not enough cameras to really catch it. And I mean, the only thing we have is that one footage so far. I haven't really checked to see if there's any more. There could be. It just seems sloppy. Like... if you're going to stage something like that, I think people would do it, make sure that the cameras could see what was going on. But anyway, that's just my opinion. My point is this, though. I don't think people should be hurting performers because you don't agree with something they said or their content or whatever. Within the confines of the law, okay? Before people start attacking me for that, like, oh, Joe says, like, it's okay for you to say this against, certain people. No. Obviously within the confines of the law. As if you're a comedian and you abuse your rights as a performer to go on stage and incite violence or say something really bad about a community or a specific type of people, then you deserve to get backlash for it. Do you deserve to get attacked? I don't think so. And again, people and audiences will always show their disdain for something with their wallets. And it has happened time and time again. People don't like what you do or say. They are not going to come to your show. And the moment performers don't make money, they start changing. So, but attacking them is not gonna solve anything. It's really not. And you might think it's just like when people want to boycott Coca-Cola or Nando's. I kind of laugh. Like, I used to be on that bandwagon. I used to think, like, yeah, let's boycott. And then I realized These are multi-billion-dollar corporations. They're not going to care if me, one guy, doesn't buy their product anymore. They're not going to care. Just like Disney's not going to care if you subscribe to them or not. They make a shit ton of money. They don't need, the 10 people that might say, you know what, I'm not gonna subscribe to Disney Plus. I'm not gonna be part of this. I'm not gonna buy a Coke anymore. I'm not gonna go to Nando's anymore. They really couldn't care less, guys. It's not gonna work. It's as simple as that. Because they're too big. And that's why, like, trying to cancel Dave Chappelle and all these other heavyweights, it doesn't work. And that's the thing. I think that's where it's come to. People tried to cancel Dave Chappelle, right? They tried to cancel Jimmy Carr. They tried to cancel so many other celebrities. And they're still going. People are still buying tickets. So now what do they resort to? Violence. Because people are still buying tickets. And now they're like, I'm going to beat you up so you don't come back to the stage. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're not going to scare performers. If anything, I think Dave Chappelle is just going to become stronger from all this. He still gets paid at the end of the day. So yeah. Troubled Cat saying, I doubt it was staged because why didn't it happen last year with all the transgender hysteria to his special last year? Exactly. It's a good point as well. But then again, Will Smith wasn't slapped last year either. And get paid out of hedge funds, aka BlackRock, Vanguard, etc. Yeah. True story. No, I don't. Dave Chappelle's never come across as woke, or at least far left woke. He's a little bit woke, but he's not like extreme woke. And Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, they're great comedians, and we just live in a world where there's a lot of snowflakes, guys. That's all it is. We live in a world right now where people want you to care about their feelings, so much to the extent where you're being censored because, God forbid, you make the wrong, or you introduce someone or address someone with the wrong pronoun, or you have an opinion that goes against the norm according to them. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I am quite upset about this whole Dave Chappelle thing, but I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'll keep an eye on this story and see if anything develops, but it is what it is. And then quickly, before my guest joins me in the next 5 minutes, and then we start talking about Star Wars and the failures of Star Wars, I just want to show you one more thing, which is this little tweet. I thought it was funny. I really thought it was funny. So I was like, what's the album name? Comment below. Ayo fam, this fire new album dropped and it's buzzin'. Fur. I don't know what the fur is. But this guy photoshopped a bit John Steenhuisen's picture and put that parental advisory. And it looks like an album cover. So naturally, I was like, well, let's see who can come up with the best album name. And some of you commented, which I was quite surprised, and like it was funny. Straight out of, I don't know, some Russian name. I don't know what the hell that says. But straight out of Russia, I don't know. Or Ukraine. Because I think John is in Ukraine. 3 Steenhouses. Virtue Signal is a good one. I like that one. I think it's a good album name. One Night in Hillbrow. One Night in Hillbrow. Nice one. Chasing Ghosts by JJ Fail. John Steen. All right. Ukraine, the White Album. Ooh. That cuts deep, my man. That cuts deep. You've just been canceled. And then Self-Harm. Why? I didn't get that last one. But I think Troubled Cat has an interesting one here, which is "We Failed Better." Good one. Yeah. Anybody else have some album names before I bring on my guests tonight, ladies and gentlemen? And while you guys are thinking of some album names, I'm joined by, once again, Mork Rock Show people, or what am I saying? The host and co-host of the Mork Rock Show, Mork Rock, and his co-host, Darth Shaun. I only know him as Darth Shaun because I've only watched the show, and that's how he's addressed on the show. He's usually a picture of some Sith Lord, I think. And I can see he's in the green room, and he's got a face, ladies and gentlemen. He's not wearing a helmet. So I'm very excited to have him on the show in just a moment as we wait for Mork to join us. I'm not even going to have a break tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to bring them straight on, and we're going to talk about Star Wars. And there's Mork Rock in the waiting room. And before I bring them on, very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, Zach is in the house saying sup, peeps. If you guys don't have any other album name suggestions, then there's Mork Rock now. He's popped up on the screen. Take him off. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have any other suggestions, I'm going to move right along. We're going to go straight to these lovely people. Look at that. There's Mork Rock, ladies and gentlemen, and the other guy, Darth. Shaun is joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, guys.
Hey, Joe.
Can you hear us, Darth? I think Darth is having sound issues.
1, 2.
Talk to your people, Mork.
Darth Shaun, you can hear us.
Can you hear me? Okay. Then remove the earphones.
Yeah, plug them out if you want.
Plug them in and out. I don't know how to. I thought Darth Shaun was gonna be at your place, Mork.
He is.
Oh, is he like in another room?
Yeah, we don't have I haven't set up the whole microphone thing properly yet.
Okay.
Let me just see. All right, hold on 1 second.
Are you texting him?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Don't worry. You guys are early, so we got time.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Are you texting him?
All right, give me a sec.
Okay. That's cool.
All right, yeah, let me see if we can.
Now he's
unplug
just
his,
abandoning ship. Where's he
he's
going?
leaving. What, dude?
He's like, screw this. Wait, I can hear myself.
You're gonna have echo because of these plugs out the earphones.
Yeah.
Wait, let me.
How do I? No, that's not. Can you hear me now? Can you hear us now?
No.
It's your earphones, man. Okay.
Right, hold on a sec.
Wait, we can. Okay, I can hear him.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, but we're sorting it out very quickly. We can hear him. He just can't hear us.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can hear him though, which is weird.
Well, 2 seconds. Let me change the earphones.
Okay. I have forgotten how to do this thing now.
Right, if you give us 1 sec, let me click a help him, Joe. Give me a second.
All right, cool. No worries. We'll do this. I think that works. Yeah, I think. Why didn't I just do that? Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So while they do their little
Try the audio
thing,
thing quickly.
I think I could still hear them though. Okay, hold on. Do that and do that. Okay, cool. So while they're busy getting set up, ladies and gentlemen, what's his name was asking, Zach was asking about the album name thing. It was just a tweet from I did earlier. I don't have time to get into it because I can see they're ready. So let me try and get these guys back on and see if.
Yay!
Hey, okay.
Finally.
Fantastic. All right. Take two, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Darth, Shaun, and Mork Rock from the Mork Rock Show. As I was saying earlier, Darth, Shaun, I'm used to your picture on the show.
Yes.
And I gotta admit, you look better in the picture. So.
Thanks.
But I'm glad to see you don't have a helmet. No, it's good to see your face.
A little bit disappointed that I don't have one.
All good, all good. Mork, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, I'm good, man. For a second there, I thought you couldn't hear us anymore.
No, I can hear you. Happy May the 4th.
Happy May the 4th to you both, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, please go in the link in the description. There is a link to these guys' YouTube channel. Great stuff. When's the next episode coming out?
Soon. We'll be doing something this week.
Did you not do something for the 4th of May? How dare you?
No, we got something, but it's taking so much longer than we expected because it's something going to be quite cool. So
okay, all right, okay. I'll wait with. Why are you laughing?
We're just going to get it. It's probably just going to get demonic. Like not even just get removed probably.
All right. So Chocolate Cat says Darth Shane equals Darth Raven.
Yes.
Exactly.
So. And Voot is waving. Hello, Voot. All right, guys. So let's get right into the conversation, man. Star Wars and the failures of Star Wars. I figured, everyone always boasts about Star Wars on Star Wars Day. So let's change it up a little bit and talk about what we think are the mistakes that Star Wars makes. And I know some Star Wars fans might be like, oh, mistakes? No, Star Wars is perfect. No, it's not. It's sometimes can be really, really bad. But I think the first question I'm going to ask you guys, we'll start with you, Mork, is the prequels. So episode 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Would you say that those are the mistakes of Star Wars?
No. Actually, to be honest, I have this opinion that I love the original, like the original trilogy, but actually when you really watch the prequel trilogy, I actually find it better because there's so much more world building. It's so much more technical. There's so much more layers to stuff, and that's the setup for the original trilogy. So if you really think about it, like personally, I like the prequel trilogy much more than I wouldn't say more, like probably like 10% more, just because of that. It shows the Jedi Order in its prime. It shows like what the society was like, and then how it became. Like if you look at the original trilogy, that's just like maybe like a 3-year snapshot of what happened to like 5 people.
Yeah,
and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Well, Shaun, let me get your opinion on this as well, because I'm gonna narrow in on this. But give me are you of the same opinion?
Yes. It creates the world for you. It builds the story of where Star Wars began, where the Jedi Order started. I would totally agree with Mark.
Okay, but then why, when the trilogy first came out, and by the way, I agree with you guys. When the trilogy first came out, I think I watched the first Star Wars movie I ever watched was The Phantom Menace, and then that just made me go back and watch the originals. But there was a lot of backlash when those trilogies came out. There was a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is horrible. George did too many CGI effects and all that stuff." And there was a lot of backlash, obviously, for Jar Jar Binks. And as a matter of fact, someone did mentioned Jar Jar in the in the comment section that he was a useless character and pointless. And I guess to some degree that's true. Do you guys think that maybe the reason, or one of the reasons why now the prequels are more, I would say, admired and accepted, is because they messed up the new trilogy?
I mean, honestly, to tell you, you know what I think happened. I think it was people were expecting the same. They were expecting the exact same, and you can't tell the story over. It's like, once you've seen, like, it's the first, like, the first Matrix. Once you've seen it, it's like the cat's out of the bag. There is no going back. You can't get plugged in. It's like, this is the reality, and it's dawned on you, and it's like, what? And the prequels were like, we got to fill in the gaps. We got to explain what's happening. How did this become where it is? So yeah, I think it was just expectation. But I mean, I do have a nice anecdote. Like, there's this theory about Jar Jar Binks. I don't know if you've heard it. About the one where they thought he could have been, George Lucas wanted him to basically be Darth Plagueis.
Yes.
But because of the backlash, people, like, he was like, oh shit, better change stuff up quickly, because it's like, he does that vibe where everything's luck based. Everybody else is not luck based, but Jar Jar was kind of like, he was this fool, the drunken master, that type of vibe. And then, everybody's like, oh, I hate it, Jar Jar's stupid. And then, here we go.
Darth, Shaun, what is your take?
On Jar Jar, I think every Star Wars movie so far, you've had the comical relief aspect to it, and I think Jar Jar played that role quite well. I mean, I never liked him as a character. I felt that he took away from the story of what was going on. I understand the aspect that you need a bit of humor to it, but I think Jar Jar was just a bit overboard. It's like parking Mr. Bean in a serious movie. It was just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
exactly.
you know.
It was too much comic relief. He was just
Yeah.
like, he was too, and it was because it was, I mean, remember also, this is when like CGI technology just came out. It's one of the first characters that's full blown CGI. And it's like, do it now. I mean, when you watched, what was it, The Mandalorian, and we see like a CGI Luke, you're like, what? Look how far we've come. So back then it was like, okay, where's the puppets?
Yeah. I kind of agree with you guys, but I think Jar Jar, I love Jar Jar. I'm not gonna lie, he was one of my favorite characters. Oh, my word, Joe, what the hell?
No.
But but he was. I enjoyed his comic relief. I enjoyed it. I didn't find anything wrong with him. As a matter of fact, as the series went on, I was like, why is Jar Jar not becoming more of a important character? He just kind of seemed to fizzle away. But it is what it is. Before we go on, I just want to mention to the audience listening in, guys, I do see your questions coming in, and I will address them from time to time. So please keep the questions coming in. If you have any questions for these guys are huge Star Wars fans, nerds, geeks. That's why they're on the show. I am one too. You guys have seen my background. I love Marvel, DC, and Star Wars, and all the great stuff. Like
I really thought you'd be wearing the robe, Joe. It's Star Wars Day. What the hell?
Where
did you get the robe, though? I love that, but like, I've always wanted a robe. That's the one. And I want Obi-Wan's like official lightsaber, but good lord, are they pricey?
Yeah, it's 15,000 on Saber Vault. Just saying.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
And that's dollar hairs, right?
no, 15,000 rand.
Oh shit! Oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah. At least I think it's 15,000 rand.
No, I think you're right. It's like, I mean, I know they start about $400 and up, and I'm obviously like the Obi-Wan saber would be.
Yeah. Obviously now, because it's mainstream again, it's like so pricey. I remember, and I still kick myself till today. When was this? It was like 2000, I want to say 2011, 12, somewhere there. There was a figurine shop, one of these collectible figurine places, with comic books and stuff like that. Something like Reader's Den. I don't know if you've heard of it. And they had the replica Obi-Wan lightsaber, official Star Wars one. At the time, in 2011, 12, somewhere there, it was 1,500 rand. And I kick myself for not buying it.
Oh, yeah, now it's like a it's a down payment on a on a car or something.
Anyway, I do want to let's do attend to some of the questions coming in, because Anonymous Lex has repeated the question here. Question: me and my girlfriend still can't settle on this. In what order do we need to watch Star Wars? Please give the names and dates to each one.
I mean, I think that's personal preference, right? That's like if you want to watch it in order. So there's two ways of watching it. It's watching in like how it was released, or there's watching in chronological order, which is
One, two,
how
three,
it's
four,
supposed to be. So, but the nice thing is if you haven't watched it, I would watch it in the way it came out.
Yeah.
So it's like you got this thing, and then it falls in, because like I think it was the original trilogy that kind of got you just in love with Star Wars. If you start with the first ones, I think it's like you get the sense of it, but it's like, I don't know, maybe it's disjointed. I don't know, because I mean the first one I saw was Return of the Jedi. I was like a kid, and I think we were on holiday somewhere, and I came to the room, and my dad was like, "Oh, look what's on." I'm like, "What the f- is this?" And I was just like, strapped myself to the screen. It's just like, "Oh my god, what? The swords!" Just like lost it.
Darth, what do you think?
I think, look, if you want to follow the story, I would say, watch the prequels, then the original. However, it's going to ruin it for you, because by the time you get to the original three, episode 4, 5, and 6, the quality in CGI is going to mess up. You're going to go, why am I watching this?
But also then there's that mystery of like when in the second one, episode 5, where the infamous "I am your father." Then you kind of know that already, like going into that. So it's not like a "what the fuck," it's not that. So watch the originals first, and then go next.
Yeah, okay. I think we all agree with that. My ex-girlfriend didn't watch Star Wars, and I introduced
That's why
her.
you broke up, obviously.
Surprisingly, no. But I introduced her to Star Wars, and I did it that way. I was like, we're gonna watch it 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
1,
exactly.
2, 3, and obviously when the new ones came out, we watched them. But yeah, I felt that even though, like, I hear what Shaun's saying with the whole CGI thing, because you're gonna watch something that's cock visual effects first, and then you see the better one. But at the same time, I did watch it in chronicle order, and you know that the originals were made in the 70s, so I mean,
no, exactly. But it's still not bad. If you look at it, it's like, it fucking looks amazing.
Okay,
like,
but here's a question. Sorry, here's a question.
Yeah.
Because there's actually two versions to
Oh yes.
the originals. There's the remastered, and then there's the original. So which ones would you guys prefer?
An original.
Yeah,
I don't know. I kind of like the one where Anakin is there, but like then at the same time, it's like, well, you can't get younger when you become a Force ghost. It's like, like, George, do you not think of that? It's like he just kind of wants to link it with. I think he did it with the thought in mind of people watching, because remember, it was like 20 years between the original trilogy. So like people are going like, who's this old buddy that's here now? It's like, and then they go, oh, it's Anakin. Okay, cool. And then you got the thing. But I mean, I didn't really mind that much at all.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen the original. I've only seen the remastered. So I must try and see the original.
I mean, that's the only scene, Joe, that changed. As far as like,
apparently they enhanced.
There's a scene in the cantina where they've added the CGI character that sings with the band.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Minor things.
They also cleaned up Jabba the Hutt a few times. They cleaned up the lasers and the lightsabers. I almost called them swords like an amateur. And
who are you?
They did. They just did a bit of cleanup and sound effects. The majority of the time. Other than that, like you said at the end with Anakin. All right, so I just want to also touch on. Okay, so this is what Anonymous Anonymous said is, I'm gonna follow the story route. She wanted to watch them based on the release dates. And he says my girlfriend's gonna be pissed. So Zach gave his opinion on it. He said, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. When Luke discovers the truth about Darth Vader, turned to the prequels as a flashback. Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, finishing with Return of the Jedi. That's an interesting one.
I must try it like that.
Yeah, I mean, that could be interesting.
That's an interesting one. I don't think I've heard that one before. And then earlier on, Trouble Cat said, Mork hits the nail on the head. It's the same issue with how gamers want the same thing but complain that no devs take risks.
Yeah, exactly. 100% Trouble Cat.
So yeah, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, keep the questions coming in. And Anonymous says, I can't even watch the Avengers because my girlfriend wants to watch them wants to watch from the very first one until the latest. Boy, that's a weekend, dude.
I think that's more than a weekend.
Is it? It's how many? 26 films, 21 films, somewhere there. 20...
I mean, what does it start with? It starts with the Hulk.
No. Well, yeah, it depends on which Hulk you consider part of the MCU. Like, you're gonna have to be, unless if you start with the Avengers, but the characters that are in the Avengers, I would start from Captain America, first Avenger, and then progress further. Iron Man, etc.
Yeah, because that's also, you got to watch it either chronologically.
Yeah,
it actually makes more sense if you watch it chronologically than as to how it came out, because
it was Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and then Captain America, I think.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've got latency on your mic, Shaun. Oh,
it sounds fine to me. Yeah, so okay. Anonymous says it's way more than a weekend. Possibly, yeah. I mean, shit. Avengers, was it Infinity War or Endgame? That was almost 3 hours longer, just over 3 hours. So, and then you got 2 of this. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Marvel. We're here to talk about Star Wars. And the one thing, Mark, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry.
Right. So mistakes that Star Wars made. I have a feeling
we're gonna need a weekend.
Let me rather ask it like this. We'll start with Shaun. Give me, in your opinion, the biggest mistake Star Wars has made, in your opinion.
The Force Awakens.
Ooh,
the entire fucking thing. Just, like, all 3 movies, like, that's my theory. It's just an abortion. It's just
wow.
Quite relevant for,
Okay. So you're saying Force Awakens and then everything after that?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I have mixed feelings about it. I like some of the characters. I've never had an issue with the character of a strong female lead, but it's just Rey doesn't make a mistake at all. Like, it's just whatever she does, she's just amazing at it. And I mean, if you look at Anakin Skywalker, he had to train to be a Jedi. Here comes this chick who lives in the desert, and she's a scavenger, yet she knows how to fly a ship. She knows how to use a lightsaber. It's super OP. Like,
you can do a Jedi mind trick first time. Like,
yeah. It's just that. But, like, there's aspects that I loved about it. Like, I truly liked Kylo Ren as a character. I mean, I think the actor Adam Driver did as best as he could, but I would have loved to see him in maybe a reboot of a better story. But it's just the whole thing.
I have a feeling, Mork, you're going to say the same thing.
No, actually, I'm going to go with the problem I had was Disney buying it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where your problems actually started, because I think it was like it started with that. I mean, everybody knows the story. Like, they bought it for something like $4 billion. Yeah, and then George Lucas was like, hey, by the way, guys, I've written the outline for episode 7, 8, and 9, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we'll pay you extra." Was it 0.4 billion?
I think, yeah,
0.4
somewhere
billion
there around
extra
there.
to get the scripts, and it was like cool. And then they just went. They did exactly what Luke did with the lightsaber. They just chucked it, and we're going like, imagine they did that with Harry Potter. Like no one would love it because like the master, I think the person that the craft, the vision was always George Lucas. You throw him away, and then it's like, well, we're gonna wing this on our own, and that's where the problem. I think the problem lies is with and also I think Kathleen Kennedy going like, let's be woke and get like female writers because diversity and reasons, and then you have these entry level writers writing things and basically just copying the original trilogy. I mean, as far as I know, J.J. Abrams hated the prequels. He doesn't dig it at all. And if you look at the movies, it's copied like A New Hope. Force Awakens copies A New Hope like almost line for line. Oh, I mean, to a degree.
Yeah. No, I definitely noticed that. Someone asking, anonymous, saying, "Could you please do a Star Trek night as well?" No.
What do we look like? Wreckheads. What?
Sorry, I had to bring that up. I agree with you, Mork. Like that was the one thing that I was very disappointed about with The Force Awakens. Like The Force Awakens, I mean the anticipation, right?
Oh, dude,
everybody was feeling that energy, right? That build up. I mean, when you watch the first trailer and the teaser trailer, and your little giddy geek radar is just
100%.
And
Felt
you
like a
go
child.
to the yeah.
Honestly, I felt like a child, Joe. It was like when I saw the trailer, I watched it. And my wife still recorded me, and I was like, and now I look back and I'm like, babe, you delete that. No one will ever see that. I hate it. That's the only thing. If I had the DeLorean, I would go back and I would change that. Now.
You slap yourself in the face, like you don't even know. Like I think, yeah. But I think we're all like, excited, and then we watch, and as the movie's progressing, at the beginning, opening scene, I didn't mind, right? It's cool.
No,
Kalo stops the laser thing, and it's yes. And then halfway through, when they're looking for Luke, I'm starting to think, shouldn't we have found him by now? Like, this is like one of the main guys of Star Wars. Like, what the hell? And then it becomes a quest. Then, sorry guys, if you haven't watched. By the way, there's going to be spoilers on the show. I'm not going to try and hide anything. So there's a big spoiler coming now. I warned you. Harrison Ford's character dies, which was like, that was like, I think, an attempt of like their "I'm your father" moment, like a big shocking moment.
You know what it actually is, Joe? It was they were trying to recreate that moment with Luke and Obi-Wan. It's the same scene to a degree, because it's like,
it actually
also
is.
what you're saying is correct, because it's like Rey meets Han, and then they're like, it's like, oh wow, it's Han Solo, and then it's like, it's almost like this father figure she never had, and then they kind of copy the scene, but her reaction just felt like when you watch it and she's going no, and you're going like, what? You met the guy 4 hours ago.
You've known him for like 6 hours,
It's like, what are you upset about? It's like, like I would be more upset about, that's how upset I would be about Joe. I've known Joe for a while now. We didn't meet, I was like, if it was you, Joe, and I'd met you an hour ago, I'm like, oh shit, Joe's dead. But I mean, it just doesn't, so like they're trying to do this emotional reaction, and you're like, and you're like just going, wait, that doesn't feel right.
The audience had a greater reaction than she did.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that was I didn't like that. I didn't feel it was necessary to kill him off, is what I'm trying to say.
No, exactly.
I felt it was very disrespectful to the character. Like, I mean, I've loved Han Solo as a kid. I remember always like, putting on my dad's like little, short sleeved little jacket and running around. Pew, pew. But I just felt like it was so disrespectful to the character. It was a very intimate moment with his son, and then, well, just to kill him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think also that's what they were trying to do. They would go like, let's how impactful could we do? Is like killed by his own son, and it's like, but also like I think it was more disrespectful what they did with the Han character leading up to that, because it's like, if you recall, Han was never like he was never he was a scoundrel, but he was never a cheat or a liar. And then that scene where these guys like you owe me money, like he paid. I mean, remember what he did with Jabba the Hutt? He owed him money, and he went off to go try and he wasn't like a liar and a cheat. He was just a scoundrel. He was like a what's the other word for it?
Smuggler.
Smuggler. That was it. It was like he's not a pirate, but they made him out to be this like untrustworthy, dodgy guy, and he's like I just felt like I don't know. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel like the Han I grew up with or that I knew. It was like you sat there, and the thing for me was the first time I watched it, I was like, it didn't click because the excitement was so hectic.
Yeah.
And then a couple of months later, when I watched it again, I was going like, hold on, wait, this feels all wrong. And yeah, then it went
I was
downhill from there.
expecting him to like whip out his whip and his fedora. And what I mean is like it's the same. Like if you look at Indiana Jones' character, it kind of has a very similarity to Han Solo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just whipped.
Yeah, well, I gotta admit that I think the moment towards the end of Force Awakens when they destroyed the new Death Star in almost the exact same way they destroyed the Death Star, that's when it clicked for me, and I was like, "This is just a ripoff of the first one."
Exactly, but also like this is the thing. You know what you should do? You should go rewatch it and just like look at it from a logical point of view, and you're going like, okay, wait, so the good guys won. And how did no one notice this thing? It's like if you see when they shoot the other planets, they shoot 5 planets, right? It's like, you could see it. It's almost like the moon. You can see the other planets there. Did no one fly by and go, wait, that looks weird. There's a big gun in the planet. Like, no one saw this. The Republic, like the rebels, the good guys weren't. They're in charge of the Republic. No one notices a fucking planet Death Star. Like, what?
No, that was that the logic in the movies I think is very flawed. The second one, because like there was also like behind the scenes fighting and issues and all that stuff with the writing and directors and all that stuff. Star Wars seems to always be plagued when you come to take on the project. Even George Lucas himself said, these movies are not easy to make for many reasons. But having said that, what was the one after Force Awakens? It was
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Opinions on The Last Jedi. I know, Darth, you said, from Force Awakens all of its cuck, but honest opinion about Last Jedi.
You just got to give me a few minutes. I got to dig deep in the emotional distress and all of that PTSD. So I think, Mork, you go first, and then I'll follow.
I mean, I remember sitting in the cinema watching this, and I think where it hit home was, I think it was like maybe 2 minutes in, where Poe is attacking the dreadnought, and he ends off with that "your mother" joke, and I'm going. And also, like, now all of a sudden you've got this Hux dude who's like, what was that other guy's name from the original trilogy where like
Tarkin.
Yeah,
Tarkin.
yeah, like he's not scared of Kylo. He tunes Snoke, wow, he's his own man. And then all of a sudden he's the butt of a joke in the next movie. And it's like, wait, what? How did that happen? And then the scene with the bombers. I literally sat there going like, I'm gonna walk out because this is going to ruin my childhood. And it did. It like just sitting there watching like, how does gravity work in space all of a sudden? I couldn't. And then I started noticing from that, it just went all the way downhill.
Okay, Darth?
I agree with Mark with the scene with Poe and just facing off against this just massive ship. The humor felt weird. I felt uncomfortable. It's kind of misplaced. It was just okay. I know what you're trying to do, but it's not really funny. I don't actually want to speak about the bombers. It was just.
Do you think that Poe is maybe they were trying to make Poe into like the new Han Solo?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I got
It
that
felt
vibe.
like this.
Yeah.
No, I got that. I got that exact vibe. But then it's like, but the thing was, this is how I can sum up. I think the Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams. It's basically like it's two children in a playground, a $4 billion playground, just like my toy, my toy, my toy, and it's like you just went and ruined everything that Ryan Johnson had set up, and just because of like what was his saying, to subvert expectation, and it's like you ruined it, honestly.
Okay,
It was
so
terrible.
what do we think about the ending of The Rise of Skywalker, and specifically when they tried to recreate that "I am your father" moment? Yeah, I can tell you guys the noises that are coming out from these
Oh
guys.
my god, like that movie, it was basically looking for a McMuffin, looking for a McMuffin, looking for a McMuffin. And the luck that these characters have, it's like you end up on a planet, you fall in a sinkhole, and you happen to find a McMuffin, and then you move on, and then it's like, oh look, this McMuffin leads to the next one. You know what, the part that just I was sitting in the cinema going, like, babe, like what the and my wife's just going, what's going on? It's like, I'm like, this is insane. It's where the part where they take the knife, and it's like, how do you know he was standing there? If it was 10 meters
The
that way, you'd never
chances
find
of
it. Like,
being in
what?
the right place at the right area, just with the knife, like the Death Star fell there. It's been there for 30 years. You're
Yeah.
telling me the waves and everything, it hasn't moved at
No,
all.
but remember, it exploded. It literally disintegrated. You could see it just go, nothing's left. And then it's like, oh, no, well, it's still intact. There's rooms are. Oh, my God. I can't. And the
Also,
ending is the worst. Joe,
did
the
you
ending of that
notice
movie.
how
Oh my god, I couldn't. I honestly couldn't. I wish. I really hope that. I mean, we could probably get into that later, but like, no, it was terrible. The ending was. I mean, the worst part was that where what is he? What is Palpatine?
Palpatine?
Well, first off, Palpatine's back. How did he survive? He falls into that laser thing
yeah.
pit and he disintegrates, and then the Death Star blows up afterwards. How? How do you survive? Like. Musa, calm down. It's gonna be okay.
Darth?
There's so much wrong with that movie. I'll be here for a week, Joe.
Yeah, where do you start?
Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but what's the guy's name we were just talking about? The
Palpatine.
general dude.
Oh,
Hux.
Hux.
Yeah.
General Hux, yeah.
So from Force Awakens, he's a strong character. He takes charge, and then obviously the second one he becomes humorous. But by the third one, he's a pussy.
Yeah.
He's I don't see the point of him being there. And then
Yeah. But they
the
replaced him with
scene.
that other guy.
Yeah, because they wanted obviously being a bit more, firmer type of person. But the scene that really got to me, and it's a minor little thing. It's when Palpatine is sucking the life force out of Rey and Ben. He suddenly has a costume change midway. He's wearing, before he's black, and then he's got the black robe on, and then all of a sudden he's got red on. Like, is it a
He's got brand new
fashion?
robes on, like he's like, I
Yeah.
don't know what magic power is. But probably the funniest part, I literally broke out laughing in the cinema, was when the space horses were on the ship and they're going, oh shit, he's like, oh, they've got like, just what did he say? Block the scanners so that they can't use their thing. And the guy's like, no, they don't have cruisers. It's horses, sir. And he's like, oh shit, what do we do? He's like, tilt the ship, just meh. And then they all slide off and they're dead. We're like, there you won. How I And the worst part was like, oh, they don't know how to go up.
Look out the window.
Yeah, we need a magical tower that's going to tell us, just look out the window, like up's there. Destroyed, like the logic, like that's the thing. It was like, and if you look at the worst part was that they got a different director, I think, in between. I think that ruined it, because you got like this guy who has a vision, you get someone new and they're like, nah, whatever, and then you get the same guy, and then it feels like the two of them fighting. It's like like the throws the lightsaber away, and then the new one is like, "Oh, you don't disrespect the Jedi's weapon," and it's like, okay, film, stop, please. Like,
I think one thing I will say is Mark Hamill tried to warn us.
Oh, he
dude,
did,
did
yeah.
you watch those interviews?
Oh yeah.
It's like it was the saddest thing I've ever watched. I was like, and he's sitting there, and then they kind of shut him up, and it's like I was going, oh fuck, I was about to cry because Mark Hamill's like, he's like, what is this? Isn't Luke? And I'm like, oh shame, you poor bastard. I felt so sorry for him.
No,
Mark
it was
Hamill.
like I think like you said, like even though I was disappointed with the first with Force Awakens, I almost felt, because at the end, like I said, in the cinema, I remember thinking this clearly. I was like, this is a ripoff of the first one of episode 4. And then I was like, okay, but they're, it's Disney. They just wanted to show off their visual effects and how great it can be. And it's IMAX now, and it's 2020, whatever, 2019, I can't remember. And Disney just wants to show off what they can do. So I forgave them. For Force Awakens. Okay.
You know what? I think visually it was beautiful.
Yes.
Like it was great. Like that. I mean, but then again, I can get a screensaver that kind of does the same thing. But
but that's what I'm saying. When the second one came out, and then Luke dies,
That was the worst death, by the way.
he
Like,
just disappeared. Like
that
again,
was-
it was an Obi-Wan death.
Yeah, no, but it's like the thing was, it's like it's about his character. He would not have done that. Like actual Luke Skywalker, he would have gone and faced his student, and you're like, no, I'm sending a Force ghost. Oh, okay, cool. Like, oh, the Force can do that now. Oh, that's cool.
or
Like,
the
it was-
teleportation of the lightsaber
Oh,
shit.
that as well. It's just like, let's add stuff. But I think that was like the thing was he would have come out and faced. I mean, if you think about it, wouldn't it have been better if he faced Kylo and Kylo struck him down, his own master? It would be like this epic battle instead of him just going like, "I'm gonna pretend to fight you, and then I'm just gonna like, and I'm gone."
Like the typical Anakin and Obi-Wan scene when Darth Vader faces off, strike me down,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
become
like-
more powerful than
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, they kind of did that scene again.
yeah.
Sort of. But yeah, again, man, it was just. I think they were more focused on visual aspects of the movies than they were with the storyline. And again, that's where episode 2 came out. I was like, I'm not really sure how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Episode, not episode 2. Sorry, episode that would have been episode 8.
Eight.
And then episode 9 came out, and the trailer looked okay. And then you hear Palpatine's voice, and you hear the Vader, and you think all kinds of things. And then you watch it, and when that Palpatine moment came, another very disappointing thing, because the guy is in some weird contraption that carries
He's like, dang, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
and then all of a sudden he's all powerful. If you're all powerful, why do you need this machine
No,
to
totally.
like move you? And then and then the whole story about to be honest with you, the story, maybe you guys can clear it up. Maybe you somehow were more focused than I was, because clearly I was gobsmacked by the entire thing. But how is it that Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine? Can anyone explain this to me? Because I still don't get it.
No, but see, this is the thing. So, if, like you said earlier on, there was a whole bunch of shit was happening behind the scenes. Like, there's an interview from the actor that plays Palpatine, where he got called halfway through shooting of like
The last movie, yeah.
yeah, he got phoned halfway through, like, listen, we might want to get you back in. So it's like, obviously, because of what Ryan Johnson did. I mean, I'm thinking like Snoke could have. I mean, you could have, because like the whole vibe with Snoke, the setup was like, he goes like, I've been around since the Republic. So it's like, oh shit, is he maybe he could be Palpatine? He could be Palpatine's like master. He could be Darth Plagueis. You're like, okay, great setup, great story, great way to go. And then it's just like, oh, he gets killed. And then what can Ryan
death was also
Johnson do in that situation? Like, oh, J.J. Abrams do is like, okay, cool, who's the villain now? So it was kind of like, I think that because there was no communication, there wasn't like a full script. or outline. But as far as I know, J.J. Abrams did put an outline together, and Ryan Johnson just went, "Nah, I'm not going to do this."
Thanks, Ryan.
But there's another thing, and you know why I have the biggest issue with The Force Awakens is because that kind of sets up the world, and then you can only write so far. So, like, you don't explain what happened in 30 years. So Luke trained no one, or they all died, and it's like the good guys won, the Republic is in the control of the Resistance, and all of a sudden, like, these, the First Order rises, no one notices it. They leave out a lot of stuff. I mean, I mean, we were chatting like about it yesterday, and we thought, like, you know what they could have done? They could have gone, started it where it's like it almost becomes like a political thing that's happening, where the factions are breaking up, and like a lot of the systems don't want to get together, and then you have this First Order rising, and at the same time you've got like the what is it called, the Resistance or the Republic have, like, because they're the world police, so they're out somewhere, and then you have like, oh shit, a whole cruiser got destroyed, and then they rock up there, and it's just like, oh, these are lightsaber markings, and then you could almost have like I think someone mentioned in the chat, like, what is it, the
Old
Old
Republic.
Republic. You've got that scene where the Sith come out of
The
wherever
ship
they
like
come from,
crash
come back.
lands, like, yeah, and the
You
door
could have
opens
done
up.
so much, but they wanted to recreate the emotional effect that the original trilogy had. And if
they
you
would have
watch the
been.
movies backwards, you kind of see what happens is, like, they want a desired effect. For example, Rey going when Han Solo dies. So then they set up these scenes, but it's not really enough. It's like, with Luke and Obi-Wan, it was like his master. He knew about his father. He knew the history. So when Obi-Wan dies, Luke's like, no, but it's like, it's real because that's the connection to his father, the history about him, all this stuff. It's his new master. It's the guy that's teaching him. It's the guy that got him out of, Tatooine.
Yeah.
With Rey, it's just like, oh, cool, the guy I heard about one time. He did the Kessel Run. And it's like, and when he dies, she's like, no, it's like, it's her father dying. It's like, that's not real.
Yeah. No, I I agree with you guys. So I think one of the answers to the question or statement of all the things that Star Wars has done wrong is basically the last 3 movies of the main storyline, because as we all know, there's other movies that have been created, which is Solo, a Star Wars movie, and Rogue One. Rogue One, I'm going to say it right off the bat, I think it was great.
Yeah, I agree.
I couldn't flaw it. I think.
And if you think about it, that was a throwaway line. Remember that one scene where they just go like, these bunch of people died for it, and then they made a movie about it, and it was excellent. I loved it. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
But Solo,
would you say it was another mistake of Star Wars?
definitely. Yeah, but I mean, like, no one. But the thing was, I think it was a mistake in the sense of like what they did with The Last Jedi, and then Solo came out, and people boycotted Solo after The Last Jedi, and they deserved what they got because, and then again, Solo wasn't. I didn't find it that. I was kind of watching it, bored out of my mind.
I was a little bit disappointed because you had this great character, Han Solo. You could have done a lot more with it.
Yeah.
It was a hit and a miss for me. It was a nice attempt, but yeah.
It also, you know what, it kind of felt almost like, if I think about it, it almost reminds me of Captain America. Like the train scene, and like somehow, like it kind of has similarities to that. But I mean, there was great scenes, and I love where Darth Maul at the end. I like, I love that part. But like, I don't know, it was kind of a bit boring. What's Darth Maul?
Yeah, Darth Maul, right at the end, yeah.
Look, I think I do think Solo was a bit of a disappointment as well. And again, they tried to do like a whole twist to it at the end, which I kind of saw coming. And the series, though, the series are doing well, I think. I haven't had a chance to watch Jabba the Hutt, but I have watched Mandalorian, which I love very much.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I love it.
They're doing fantastic things with that. I cannot wait to see Obi-Wan. Hopefully, that's not a mess up.
See the trailer?
Oh, I've seen the trailer. Of course, I've seen the trailer.
I'm scared, Joe. I'm honestly, I'm really scared of what's coming.
Wait, are you saying that you weren't impressed by the trailer?
No. I like it, but at the same time, it's like I'm scared. I'm like, it's like, you're getting,
PTSD.
it's like being invited over to, like your child, you're being invited over to Joe Biden's house for a sleepover. You don't know what could happen. Like, I'm scared.
Well, Darth, what do you think of Obi-Wan, the trailer, and what's to come?
I've got a bit of hope for it. I'm hoping it pulls it off. There is like one character that I'm not I'm not overly fond of at this point. It's one of the inquisitors with the. It just looked like they put on a bald cap. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen guys online that done it, improved it with some CGI, and it looks amazing. And you're going,
So much
Disney, couldn't you? It just feels like they've slapped a bald cap on him. It just.
On that topic, though, that character you're speaking of, that Inquisitor, he's the same species as, if you guys remember the third movie, the Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan gets to that planet and there's this guy that's got this red vibe.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's the same species. You guys have done a better job before. Like, just do that. What?
I mean, I'm excited for it. Like, I'm keen to
Yeah.
watch it. Like, I definitely, I watched Boba Fett.
Sorry, Boba Fett. Yeah,
Boba Fett. Yeah. I love the Mandalorian. Very excited when they introduced Ahsoka Tano in it.
Oh.
Like, I was over the moon for that. So
all-time
I'm
favorite
hoping they
Star Wars
put it
character.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think Mandalorian is one of the most, especially at the end of the season 2 with Luke making a return. I was like, fuck
wow.
yeah.
Exactly, dude. It was amazing.
I think Mandalorian is definitely a great series. I love it. Can't wait for season 3. Can't wait to start putting my my eyes onto Boba Fett, the series, and we'll see with Obi-Wan. I have hopes because they've been doing all right with the series so far. They've done well. They did well with Clone Wars as well.
Dude, Clone Wars is amazing.
So I think there is hope when it comes to see. And I think, I've heard this argument before, and maybe you guys would agree, is that what they should have done with the Skywalker storyline is, instead of making 3 movies, could have made it into a series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been nice to watch. I would have liked that. Because you can go a bit more in depth with the character. I find with the movies, you've got so many characters, and you want to obviously give everyone good screen time, and a bit of story on this character, a bit of story on that character. But it would be nice if they could focus just on Skywalker and his progress.
Yeah,
that would have been nice. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that, well, it's too late now. There was talks about an episode 10, 11, and 12. I don't know. Have you guys heard anything about that? That might be on the cards.
Do you follow Do you follow Doomcock at all, Joe?
No.
Okay, so you should go check out his channel. It's the future ruler of Earth, Doomcock, and he's got like what was it with the Rise of Skywalker? He's got connected people in in Lucas, in Disney, and he basically got the skinny on exactly what was happening way before. A lot of the information he comes out with is correct, but as far as I understand, there is this sort of internal struggle at Disney where it's like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, Dave Filoni who did the Clone Wars, and who did Jon Favreau who did the Mandalorian. They're kind of having this internal battle between them and Kathleen Kennedy, where it's like she wants to take it more this direction, and that's why I remember, if you I don't know if you guys remembered that they had this release about what was it, the Star Wars, some era. It's set 3,000 years before the Jedi. They did artwork for it, and they came out.
I think I remember that.
And then all of a sudden, you heard nothing about it.
Yeah.
So basically, how the vibe was, the Mandalorian did so well that the head of there was a Bob Iger at the time. He was like, okay, cool, it changed over to Bob Chapek, and he was like, "Well, you're doing amazing," whereas all the other stuff is failing. I mean, they broke even with Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9. I mean, they did well at the box office, but it was almost the same as what they were spending. They didn't,
Yeah.
merchandise was like non-existent, whereas that was what like almost double what the movies would do, and the people just weren't buying stuff because it was depressing. But so as far as I get the skinny, Dave Filoni basically wants to retcon the entire 3 movies. This is so if you watch the one episode, what's that other show? Not the High Republic. Well, what's that?
Rebels, Star Wars
Yeah.
Rebels.
There's is it episode season 4, episode 9?
When Ezra goes to the Veil.
Yeah, he goes to the Veil,
Yeah.
and basically this sets up, and this happened just after. This was just after the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So basically, and if you look at Ahsoka's logo, that circle that they have, that is the Veil,
Yeah.
which is this. Basically, it's this in between place. Now, I'm not really cool with them screwing with time, like time traveling and that. But if you go watch that episode and you look at the Ahsoka logo, putting that the Veil of the Force there, it's like there is an opportunity where they can actually go back and completely erase what happened with the 3 movies and redo it and restart it, which is...
Isn't that what they did with Terminator, though?
Yeah.
They tried to do that whole time travel, we're going to reset everything, and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the
I
thing,
think
though.
it's not really time travel, it's more multiverse aspect. So
Yeah.
The idea was to cut out the latest 3 movies out of the universe, so they can pretty much start telling the story again from Skywalker if obviously Mark Hamill wants to do it again, so they can rewrite that because of the abortion they did. So,
but also the thing is like George Lucas was obviously heavily involved in the Clone Wars. He's heavily involved in Rebels, and all of this stuff. Dave Filoni checks them. I mean, there's this. I don't know if you watch The Chef on Netflix with Jon Favreau, where they literally go to the Skywalker Ranch. That was when him and Dave Filoni were busy doing The Mandalorian, and they sit there with George Lucas. Every single thing is like, what do you think of this character-wise? I mean, George Lucas had a say in it. He got on board for Ahsoka. As far as I know, he's on board for Ahsoka as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that may be a good thing. So, but I mean, again, it's all hearsay. You got to take it with a shovel of salt.
Okay. So much you said there. No, it's a lot to take in. I think the one question I had on my mind is like, if they going back to the whole time traveling aspect of things and like trying to rewrite, could they not just start anew? Do you think that they have to time travel or somehow create a separate universe or whatever you want to call it? Because like that's kind of like what movie also did that, where they created a separate universe? I think it was Star Trek, or was it?
No, it was Star Trek. Yeah,
it was Star Trek.
I don't know if that is necessarily I'm not saying that you're saying that it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying from I don't think it's the right thing that Star Wars or Lucasfilms or Disney should do. I think what might be a better decision is just going, you know what, guys? Clean slate.
Yeah.
Let's just start at a point. We have new characters, we have new storylines, new whatever, blah, blah. It's, I don't know, 50 years after what happened with either episode 1 or episode 6 or episode 9 or whatever the case may be, any flipping timeline really. And I mean, like, I don't know if you guys played Fallen Order, Star Wars game.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
See, like that is a story that they could make into a movie, right?
Yeah.
And they don't need, it's in the same universe. It's happening parallel with certain storylines, and it did a good job of explaining why there's other Jedi in the universe. I love that little explanation that they did there. That explains why there's children in the universe that nobody knows about, blah, 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 that happen to be Jedi. But I think if they did that, just start new, start a whole new trilogy or whatever you want to. Maybe it'll be nine parts as well, but just start completely new.
You know what I wouldn't mind them doing, but this is like I would love, because obviously now Kevin Feige, who oversaw Marvel, and I love what Kevin Feige did because he went and he kind of outlined the entire thing. That is so true. But so he outlined the entire Marvel universe, and then that's why we love Marvel, because everything connected. And that's what they didn't do with Star Wars. But now that's the other thing. So they've got Kevin Feige's now basically, as soon as they get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, he's going to head up Star Wars with Jon Favreau under him and Dave Filoni,
Nice. Okay.
including George Lucas. So they literally went to George Lucas and, please, can you come back? And he was like, okay, sure. So the thing is, the only way to fix it, they're never going to go listen clean slate, as in let's read. They'll never redo it. So the only alternative would be is to go alternative timeline. And the thing is, the reason I mention it is because Dave Filoni and George Lucas wrote that episode of Star Wars Rebels where Ahsoka has this battle with Darth Vader in Rebels. She faces him and then he kills her. And I think they fight each other and then she dies. But then a couple of episodes later, Ezra somehow ends up in the Veil and he sees this happening. So he sees there's all these doorways and he sees this happening and he grabs Ahsoka just before Vader kills him and pulls her in. And that's why Ahsoka is now with Luke and all that. I think so, right? Right? Yeah. So it could be a possibility. It almost like it's a life jacket in case to try and fix it. I think.
I just don't like that. It's like a cop out. I feel it's a cop out.
I know it is true, but I mean, where someone screwed up your IP so hectically and split the fans down the middle, and now George Lucas, the creator, is going, listen, you guys should have done my story. I would like to see his story. Yeah. I would like to see his outline. And I mean, I remember reading about it about years before the movies came out, where it's basically like it starts in Bespin, and that's where the Jedi Temple is, and Luke has got 2 children, and Han and Leia have got 2 kids, Ben Solo. And I think that was someone mentioned it earlier on the Star Wars Legends, the novels that were written. And it's like, this is one of those novels where George Lucas kind of had a bit of influence on. I think there was a pen or outline for it. And yeah, come on, guys, you can do better.
And what do you think, Darth? Do you think alternative universe is the way to go?
I liked your idea with, I think this problem started with the hype of Star Wars, the original characters, Han Solo, Leia, Luke Skywalker. And I think the reason they did these, the 3 new movies that came out now, was to build on the hype of the previous movies and the success of that. Yeah. But I would have loved to see, like for example, The Fallen Order, brand new character. And it was nice. It was a fun game to play. And I would like to see some new characters. You could do it 50 years later, 100 years later, 1,000 years prior to this happening. There's so much more that you could do. Write your own story. Don't take the original characters and then just screw it up. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would love to see something like that. There's so many more stories that you can tell. I mean, I would love to if they did a Old Republic series. Dude. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
that is an amazing era as well. It's like the Jedi and the Sith, and they're both. It's like the Jedi are warring factions against.
Exactly.
It's like, imagine seeing that. I mean,
I think that would be like a Star Wars version of the House of Cards or something. Or Game of Thrones.
It would actually be like a Lord of the Rings version of Star Wars. It's imagine these massive battles. Like, because remember in the Old Republic, the Sith take over the planets where the Jedi. I mean, you guys watch the trailers of the Old Republic trailers. They are excellent. They're so epic.
Yeah, I think like Shaun said, again, if you were to make a clean slate movie with new characters, what you could also open the door to is bringing back the original cast, depending on the timeline and where it's set.
Yeah.
So you can have them come in as cameos for like a short moment helping the main characters on with their journey, for example.
like in The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
And I think it would be much more rewarding for the fans. So, George, if you ever watch this,
But also the thing is, this is
I want a
George.
lightsaber,
quoting. George was quoted saying that the story of Star Wars is the story about the Skywalker family. And the thing is, obviously, people going, "Oh, I just want family," but it's like, this is his, it's his creation. Like, just be true to the creator, and like, just you guys should have done what he did. And I would love it. I would love him to do like not a remake, going, "Here's the director's cut," almost like what they did with the Snyder cut. We're going, this is George Lucas, and they redo episode 7, 8, 9 as George would have done it, and have Jon Favreau do it with Dave Filoni. Done. Take my money.
may not be a bad idea as well to do that. Why not? I don't know. I just when they start talking about like, oh, alternate universe and this and that, like it starts to tread on that line as well as Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Although the new Spider-Man I did enjoy because it felt like they were closing off other storylines and stuff like that. It wasn't and beginning new ones. I don't think it can be pulled off with Star Wars. I think the damage is already done. I think I think it's just going to get more fans angry. Like that's it. It's like you know what it's like. It's like Dexter.
With the new season.
See, but this is the thing. This is what I'm scared of. Like every time, like something great happens, and then you're like, "What? Oh, this is great!" And then they just punch you. And like, why would you do that?
So like Dexter, I actually haven't really given my full opinion. I did say once that I did enjoy the last season only because it was better than season 8, I think.
What was season 8 again?
Season 8 was when he faked his death.
Season 8 is the new one, right?
No, season 9 is the new one.
Oh, 9 is the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. The ending just. Oh my god, it bugged me. It bugged me so hard.
Of season 8.
And season 9.
No. With season 8,
9,
I was going like, like how else would you end it? Like
he drops his sister into the water, and then he just
and then he pisses off.
sails
And then
away.
I wouldn't have done the scene where they show him in Alaska, like he's a woodcutter now. He's like
but you see
died.
that's the problem, right? So that was the problem with everybody. And so when they did season 9 and they're bringing back his son and all that stuff, I know we're going off Star Wars now, but the point is, that's a remake in a sense. It's another timeline. New characters were brought in. They're relying on the main character Dexter, and then they fuck up the ending again.
Exactly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the way it ended is kind of the only way to end it in his death.
Yeah.
Dying by the hands of his son, I'm not too sure. And the son riding off into the sunset and all that, because now there's talks about a spin-off for a young Dexter.
But again,
I don't know.
You hit a very perfect example there where it's like you pointing out exactly what Hollywood's doing. They're trying to get an emotional reaction which doesn't feel real. Okay, like what could be the most hectic thing to do? We want an emotional payoff. The son killing, like the father. And it's like, same with, like, look at like the end of the Star Force Awakens. It's like, okay, cool, but it doesn't feel, I don't know, it just doesn't land. It's like they write the movie backwards. We want this thing to happen at the end, and then how can we get there? And then they write it backwards, and it's like
exactly. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, at the end of Rise of Skywalker, where Rey says like, "I'm a Skywalker," I was just like, "No, you're fucking not."
Exactly. That's exactly this thing. I shouted it at the screen in the cinema, and people like looked through. I was like, "No, you bury it."
You were like Luke in episode 5. No.
Oh man.
No, okay. So I think we all agree. Worst mistake Star Wars has done is episode 7, 8, and 9, which You know, it's not surprising. At the beginning, when the movies first came out, like I said, I was a bit forgiving, but through time and watching them over and over again, I was just like, it's getting worse. And that's like the biggest thing, right? So if you watch episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right?
Yeah.
It gets better every time you watch it.
Exactly.
Okay.
You pick up new things. It's like, oh wait, this is happening, this thing, and like every time I watch the other movies, it just gets worse.
Exactly.
Like it's just like every time you watch it again, you notice something like a logical point. You're going like, wait, why is Han Solo rock up on the ship? It's just luck.
Now,
And
how
then
did you find it?
yeah, how did you find it? You can scan it. Oh wait, they can scan the ship now, and then you go to the rebels base. Wait, you know they can scan the ship. Why would you go there? Like it just and you're completely right, dude. The more you watch the old ones, the better it is. I actually rewatched the Phantom Menace clone. I mean, Attack of the Clones. I mean, Hayden Christensen could have been a bit better, but you know, I still love the movie. That scene at the end with all the Jedi and Mace Windu with the lightsaber. Oh my god, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was just like a kick-ass scene.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think it's just sad because Star Wars to me, and if there's any Star Trek people watching, I'm sorry, but Star Wars is better than Star Trek. Always has been, always will be.
Now we're gonna start like a fight.
Yeah,
Am I gonna get cancelled? No, look. Star Wars has so much better things going for it, and the sad thing is, really, I think I could be wrong, but I will give it credit where it's due.
Yeah.
I think J.J. Abrams did a phenomenal job with the new Star Trek movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Star Trek. Yeah, he did a good job.
He did a good job. Great, right? Which is why he got Star Wars, because he did such a great job with Star Trek.
Yeah.
And then he fucked it up.
You're 100% correct. Like with Star Trek is more forgiving because there's already so much happening. The stories are the problem with Star Wars is it's a story about the Skywalker family. You know, so like, you know, what we wanted to see in the sequel trilogy was Luke Skywalker. It's like the guy who won. Like, where are all the Jedi that he's taught now? Why wasn't there a battle with, like, you know, him being attacked by, say, new Sith or something? And there's like all these Jedi fighting. It was just like, no, we're going to do exactly. We're going to set the same scene. We're going to screw up the entire history so that we have the same circumstances as A New Hope, where like the good guys are outnumbered. You know, like, but they can't be. It's like, but you wanted to create that emotional effect that they're running. I mean, like the second movie, which like they're running away and they can't shoot, and the logic and oh my god, Leia forced flying.
Herself.
Yeah, that was.
I couldn't. Yeah. It was terrible.
That's the other thing with the Leia near death. Sorry.
Yeah.
They should have let her fucking die.
Yes.
That was the perfect moment.
Killed by a son.
That would have gotten the emotional response that they were trying to get.
But then they come back and, like, you know, they do the thing. But the worst part was, if you watch the scene where she comes to the door and they're like on the inside and she's like, oh, they open the door. She's in space on the other side. No one gets sucked out. And it's just like, no one thought about that. It's like those little things. You notice more and more of that, and it just drives me insane.
All right, well, let me get to some of the comments before we end off. Trouble Cat had a question here. I think let me read both these questions, because I think they're both one and the same. Question for Shaun and Mork. How do they feel about Knights of the Republic 1 remake? I don't know if I want Mork or Shaun to tackle this. How do you think Knights of the Old Republic 1 will go woke with this modern remake?
I mean...
Oh, sorry, are we talking about the game or series?
No, I think it's the game. There isn't, as far as I know, there isn't a series. It's the game. But the only issue I have with that is that the game company making it hasn't actually made like a big budget game before. The only thing they've done is they've ported games. So they've taken like old games for like I think it was like PC games, and they've ported it to console. So this is their first big thing. As far as I know, they've got a couple of great directors and people involved. So I don't think they'll go. I mean, I don't think they'll go woke. I think like I mean, look at what's the game you mentioned, Jedi Fallen Order. I mean, that was great. I mean, there's a little bit of wokey stuff in it, but you don't even notice it. It's like cool, a female bad guy, and like I loved it. It was great. It was awesome. I have not a single issue with it.
They
Put
didn't
the
push
work
it too
stuff
hard.
in with exactly. Put the work stuff in as long as I don't notice it.
Even the guy who Cal,
Yeah.
it's a gay actor, which I don't have a problem with. I
No,
thought it was
but, like,
great.
I did have one problem though. Like
Yeah.
I kept seeing him from Shameless getting ass pounded. Like that was my problem, just because like I made the connection that he's from Shameless, and that was the only
Yeah.
issue I had. But otherwise, I loved the game. I would
Yeah.
like if they did a sequel where you could choose a character. I mean, like I've
Oh,
got
yeah,
no
yeah.
issue with playing with a female character or a male character. It doesn't. It's it's and that's what I kind of liked about Old Republic. You could create your character
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and go from there.
And how it
Um,
influences every decision you
yeah.
make influences your dark side or light side vibe.
That's
And it's-
right. Yeah.
Apparently, Eclipse is going to be something like that. The new Star Wars game, Eclipse.
Oh wow.
Oh, Eclipse. Yeah. That's right.
Also based in the Old Republic, I think.
Did
Yeah.
you guys see the game that they did a couple of years ago? It got cancelled though. It was Star Wars.
Yes, the
Was it
40.
2077 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It was like where
Yeah.
it
A
was based on,
smuggler.
yeah, you're a smuggler, you could pick if you wanted to be a smuggler or a clone trooper, but
That's right.
the
Yeah.
trailer looked amazing, and then it just
Yeah.
like pulled the plug. But I think that happened when Disney bought Lucasfilm, and they that's also when they decanonized like the Star Wars
Yes.
Legends. They just went, okay, cool, canceling everything because obviously they want the money.
Yeah. And now Star Wars Eclipse was supposed to come out this year. It's been postponed. And it looks like an amazing game. It's also the stuff you guys just mentioned. You get to choose what you want to be. I'm not sure if you can choose characters, because there's multiple characters in the game. So you get to choose, and apparently the choices you make as those characters change the outcome of the game. And it's also open world Star Wars game as well.
Nice.
So I'm very much looking forward to that. Big hype around it. I don't know I don't know if that means it's going to be good, but it looks good. Check it out if you haven't yet.
I mean, as far as I also remember, there is a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah,
And
that's
as far as I know. Hopefully, you get to play with the chick. You know the chick from that you rescue in what's the place? The Knights of the Sister. What are the Night Sisters?
yes.
Oh yeah.
Possibly, I would love to play as her becoming a Jedi. Like a little bit of magic, a little bit of Force vibe. I'm
gonna miss Cal though.
But no, I think he's going to be in it. It's like he's in it, but like maybe they would be. I would love where they can do it. Like you can play with Cal, and then there's
With
one
different
mission.
guys. So
Yeah, you play with
like one of those
storyline, and
kind
then
of
you
like
do her story.
GTA, where you switch between characters.
Yeah,
and
That's right. Yeah.
That would be kiff.
That would be cool, because each one has like different abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
use them according to the mission. That would make sense, and that would be pretty cool. We'll see. I mean, not Force Awakens. Fallen Order is scheduled to be announced officially sometime this year. They thought it was going to be today. It doesn't look like it. I've been keeping my eye on that. But rumor around the mill is that it's going to be released at the end of 2022 or beginning 2023. That's the rumor at the moment. Nobody knows for sure. But yeah, guys, I think Troubled Cat keeping me, on keeping my feet on the ground. It's a very valid point.
I still haven't played it.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna call it here, because it's 9:00, which means I have to go. But I want to thank you both for joining me on this very fun and enlightening conversation. The mistakes of Star Wars. I think we nailed it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think Star Wars makes a lot of mistakes, but unfortunately, when they do, it's big.
Bad. Scary.
Darth, Shaun, thank you so much for showing your face, and
No problem.
it was a pleasure to meet you. I hope one day we get to meet in person. I hear you're in Cape Town now, so
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
get together again, or soon. Mork, you and I need to get together soon, and I'll see you again on the show, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah, anytime.
So yeah, gents, is there anything you want to say in closing? May the
No.
fourth be with you.
Yes, of course. May the force be with all of you. And don't pay for the new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
What if they do make a Star Wars movie? Are you gonna go?
Oh, of course, I have to. I
love
even if I
raging.
hate it.
I've got to rage. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
for
I
it.
mean,
Bring it. More content to talk about.
yeah, no, exactly. That's why I'm really scared of Obi-Wan. I'm just like hoping, please don't ruin the best character in the world. Don't get up.
Now let's keep our hopes up.
Yeah.
Star Wars has Lucasfilm and Disney have been doing well with the series aspect of things,
Yeah.
so hopefully they won't screw. I mean, they can't. Well,
Wait. Haven't watched the Boba Fett? Hey?
no.
Okay.
Don't say
well,
anything. Shut up, Mark.
Is it okay? Is it good or bad? Just tell me that.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Wait. Okay.
I'll
So
leave it
Shaun.
up for you to decide.
Yeah. Okay, but Shaun's not. I can see Shaun's not 100% sold on it. Mork, are you?
I mean, there's 2 episodes I liked. The rest, I'm not gonna. I think you should watch it. I don't want to spoil it for you, so
Yeah.
go watch it, and then we should have a Boba Fett
Yes,
chat.
we will. We will do that. Okay. Well, then I retract what I said earlier. We'll just have to see with Obi-Wan, I guess. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, you can catch these guys on the Mork Rock Show. Link is in the description below. Please give them a subscribe. They've gone over 100 subscribers now, and hopefully we'll get them to 1,000 very soon. I mean that in a good way. I'm not trying to be...
No, totally.
I'm poking fun at it.
But I know that, Mork, I've been wanting to ask you before you go.
Yes.
You had a channel before.
Yeah, we had a channel before.
Yeah. What was it at before it got taken down?
It was called the Dark Side Show.
And how many subscribers
It's
did
still
you have?
We did quite well, though. I mean, the
our
views,
first video.
but
We got like
yeah,
almost 1 million views on our first video, and then
we got
apparently
copyright strikes.
I'll send you the link. That's why we got into trouble, because of the first video.
Okay, interesting.
It happened like it was about 3 months before the election, and obviously some of the Democrats didn't like the video. And then
Say no more.
Yeah.
Before you get this channel taken down. All right, cool. Gents, you're welcome back on the show anytime, and I'm sure I'll have you back again. We will talk. I'm going to watch Boba Fett, and then I'll bring you back on, and we can rage on that for a little bit. So, okay. Gents, thank you again for joining me. It's been lovely. Have a good evening, and I'll chat to you guys soon. Cheers.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mork Rock and Darth Shaun from Mork Rock Show. Like I said, go give them a sub in the comment section, in the link or description below. I'll remind you guys, I'm not going to be streaming until next week, Monday. I'll be back with Herman Russ. There's some great guests coming up next week, so you don't want to miss that, ladies and gentlemen. All the details are on my YouTube channel. You will be seeing as well the launch of Cape Forum. I'll be uploading that some point within this week or early next week, so keep an eye out for that. More content coming your way as always. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, if I don't see you at the next one, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you at the next one. That kind of didn't make sense, but it will.